Really?
Yeah, that was announced. I should share the show out too.
Yeah, he hit me with that bombshell when I came in too.
Yeah.
Well, I am finding out in real time here.
Here's the picture. Yeah, we are too, really. I mean, just before we came on air, it was TMZ who broke it. They're the only source right now. There is a local affiliate in Florida that did pick up the news as well, but they're only quoting TMZ. So I'm not really, you know what I mean?
I hope it's not true.
TMZ don't fuck around. Oh, I hope it's not true either. But usually, TMZ, don't miss it when people die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they are like the most believable of the almost paparazzi news sources.
Oh, it's definitely a paparazzi.
Not almost. Yeah, they are straight up paparazzi.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was trying to give them a little bit of an air of credibility, but yeah, they are paparazzi.
There's nothing wrong with paparazzi.
There's a lot wrong with paparazzi.
No, I mean in the context of breaking news. Okay, most of the shit they do, yes, is opportunistic, but it's hard to deny that there is sort of this symbiosis between these pictures that get in these magazines and these stars. They may not want it all the time, but they're cool with it some of the time. So, and I don't give either side of that whole thing a break. But when it comes to people passing away, all right, usually these EMTs, they'll just, TMZ will just slip them a fucking Venmo, and what does it cost them? $100, $50? What does the EMT care? I don't know. I'm sure that's how it gets out, just email somebody at TMZ. They got a hotline or something. But anyway, man, Bob Saget, he was honestly America's dad. Yeah. Okay, I'm not even going to lie. He was America's dad.
Arguably the most iconic sitcom dad ever.
I mean, now, since Bill Cosby ruined everything that Bill Cosby had going on.
Especially after that. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the worst thing you can say about Bob Saget is that he has really crass stand-up, but that's not even really a knock,
It's great. It's so good. It's so good. He's also America's favorite uncle in that respect, really. But yeah, hey, everybody, sad news. Sorry. Welcome to the pre-show. This is where we talk about what we're going to do in the show. We weren't going to talk about Bob Saget, but it's unfortunate. TMZ is reporting that, yeah, at 65, Bob Saget did pass away. It's a terrible headline, passed away in a Florida hotel room. That's usually never great, but benefit of the doubt. I hope, I don't know. What do I hope? I don't give a fuck. It sucks that he died, no matter how the fuck he died, Anyway, yeah, that's all we got. Oh, hey, Boogie. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. He asked me about Transformers the other day. He said his daughter wants to start reading Transformers, and I was like, oh, do you need copies? He's like, no, I'm going to buy them. And I'm like, jeez. He making that Talking Balls money, though. He making that Talking Bowl game this year. Got him a little bit of extra ducats, I'm sure.
Well, all the good Transformers is already all collected out there, so.
It is. Yeah, that Phase 2 stuff. Yeah, so. All right, yeah. We got good news. We don't even need a pre-show. It'll be a shocker.
Well, it's time to start anyway. Yeah,
it's time to start anyway. Bob Saget took all the beginning, so. I mean, R.I.P. though. Must see TV,
A bunch of goddamn nerds.
It's true.
Nerds!
That still cracks me up every time. John Goodman. Who'd have thought, John Goodman would be John Goodman. Oh, yes. Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. Another episode of This Geek in Comics, Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
Gomer, Adam, Norman, Taylor. How's it going, gentlemen?
I'm getting by.
Mourning the reported loss. It might be different news by the time we get off the air, but yeah, Bob Saget. That's what everybody's talking about tonight. That really sucks. Really sucks.
That does suck. Yeah.
Yep.
What did I do this week? Fucking nothing. Watched Ozark's season 1 through 3. Getting ready for Ozark season 4. Dope show. Awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
Anything fun?
I mean, I've been snowed in the last couple days. It all came. It rained today, so it's all gone now. But for at least 2 days, I was basically completely snowed in. So
I couldn't have gone to do anything fun, even if I wanted to. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, we got like 4 inches here, but it was gone. well, I don't know, the day after Friday, I guess we were able to get out and kick it.
Yeah. So I took advantage of some holiday sales for games, and I played some old video games that were on sale
Nice.
for
You
cheap.
bought some
So,
games? What you
yeah, I
get?
bought some games. So I beat Injustice 2 because that was like $2 legit on the PlayStation
Oh,
Store.
man.
Um,
That sucks, Eli.
oh, that does suck.
Thanks for coming by, though.
Yeah.
Man, all of you guys are in Facebook jail for something or other.
I
right
don't,
now.
I don't know. I don't even, dude. I was innocent. All right, I didn't do it. I did not do the crime. I
You know,
did my
as a
time.
friend of yours, Gomer, I don't believe for a second that you were
I
actually
didn't
innocent in
break
this.
the rules. I don't even want to talk about what I did.
How long ago did Injustice 2 come out? Was that like
Oh,
5 years
dude.
ago?
That
or
was like
something?
5 years ago at this point. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I also got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That was like 2
That's
or 3
fun.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2 or 3. I got that for Christmas last year, and honestly, probably the best Star Wars game I've ever played. Which
Yeah,
is
it's pretty
not
good
a
so
high
far.
hurdle to clear, but you know,
It's fun.
it's basically like a FromSoft game, but with Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. What'd you do, Taylor? Anything fun?
Watched a lot of football today.
Oh gosh.
Not that any of you guys care, but the Titans did clinch the #1 seed today.
Yeah. How
Ooh.
about this game tonight?
them.
And I don't know. I don't follow football. I like the Eagles. Once the Eagles won a championship, I was basically done watching sports.
Well, the Eagles are in the playoffs.
They are, yes. But how about this thing where if this team ties, like these two teams tie, they both go. What is it now? Isn't it something weird? Like if they tie tonight, they both go to the playoffs or something.
That might be the case, yeah, because they would
wild.
both have a better record than the next best team at that point, I guess.
That's wild.
It's unlikely to ever come up, but you know, whatever.
Why don't they just take a kneel? Bring your fucking Pokemon cards out there and play Pokemon for an hour. Let's do the news. Yeah, that'll do it. Stop bullying people, Eli.
I mean, if you go to a place called Comic Book Bullies and then you get bullied by them, can you really say that you're not getting exactly what was advertised?
They bait them. They bait them. We got some pretty good news this week. A lot of X-Men again, building up to this Destiny event.
Tons of X-Men.
Man, and we're
Almost
talk
always.
About, yeah, we're going to talk about a ton of X-Men later on, I'm sure. But before all that, Image, the Comic Book Workers United have won their election, their union election. Image
Good for
Comics is
them.
the first unionized comic book publisher, and that doesn't mean the creators are unionized. You know, that's still not something that happens. But the administrative people, the PR people, you know, the office guys at Image now have a union. I mean, this is cool. You know, this is a big thing for
Yeah, I
the
mean, good
industry.
for them.
I mean, it's good for them, sure, but it's a bigger thing for the industry. In their statement, you know, the press release after this successful vote, they say, "It is our sincere hope that today's win inspires our peers to organize for a democratic voice." All right. CBWU is ready to stand with you to help create a better and more equitable comics industry for all. So this is not the end game. You know, these guys get together.
No.
This could be the start of a snowball. This could at least be a foot in the door, you know?
Yeah, this is happening in a lot of industries. You see it happening in Starbucks, you know, and you're even starting to see it in the video game industry now, people trying to unionize.
Yeah.
So, you know, hey, good for them. I'm all for it.
Yeah, my favorite aspect of this is how unique comics are in this, because the work for hire stuff, the contract folks, under law, they're not even allowed to talk about organizing, you know, because it's tantamount under the law anyway to profit fixing, right? Which makes sense. You know, I get that. I get the angle there, you know, within the context of the system. But these folks can go on strike once they have enough power. Once they have enough organization, they can go on strike and say, no, Disney, no, Marvel, no, WB, no, DC. We are not going back to work until you pay the creators who you are, you know, using their creative works in these movies, until you redo their contracts and we talk to them and we get laws changed and we move things along. And I mean, is that a long shot? Fuck yeah, it is. But every shot, you know, that's worth taking is a long shot. And I think that's an important thing.
Less of a long shot today than it was yesterday, you know?
Exactly. You know, think what you want about how contracts are written and stuff like that. Contracts can always be renegotiated, okay, if we're going to talk about the law. And it's unfair. I don't think anybody can argue that it's fair that Disney and Warner Brother, AT&T at this point, make millions of dollars off of these stories, and then the creators don't get anything. We've always heard these horror stories of shit. Peter David, within the past few years, 5 years maybe, had a GoFundMe for his taxes. Peter David, he had a character in X-Men movies. Half of the characters in that one story, he fucking created them. And there's all these stories about these people who created these legendary characters, dying penniless, and
well, we were just talking about bad ends at the start of the podcast here. The guy who created Thundercats, I don't know much of the details, but I do know that they found his foot before they found the rest of him.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, it's not good.
The NFL playoffs are full of teams I don't care about. If it's another Rodgers Brady Bowl, fuck that. Yeah.
No arguments here on that
one. I don't know what that means.
Oh, they're two quarterbacks who. Yeah, let's just not worry about it, Gomer.
It's going to be the Eagles and the Titans. So my son's a big Titans fan. I'm an Eagles fan. Better news, Image Comics.
This is good news.
Jeff Lemire has inked an exclusive deal with Image Comics for upcoming projects. Now,
man, look at Image doing exclusive deals with people.
It sounds weird.
It's super weird. But hey, this is a match made in heaven. Jeff Lemire, all of his creator-owned shit is his best shit, and Image is the premier place to go for creator-owned comics. So.
There are some caveats here because the press release came out from Image. He elaborated on his Substack. You can subscribe to his Substack for free. You don't have to pay, and you can get some of this stuff. Sports shit, you nerds. Hey, if you want to do some or some sports podcasts, I will be the dumbass on the sports podcast, and you could talk about fucking WWF and all the other.
Dude, WWF hasn't existed for like 20 years.
I don't know. All right, so he did elaborate. What this deal really means is that he is done with work for hire comics for the foreseeable future, and that's what he's been doing. All right, what that means is you do work, you send in that work, you get paid. Now what he's doing is he's getting paid and can just do work whenever he wants. So between this and his Substack deal, this dude's banking. All right, this dude's making his money. And that doesn't even include anything that he's doing for the screen. He's writing scripts. Sweet Tooth was a success. So yeah, he's got a lot of irons in the fire, and he's doing it his own way, which I think is the big takeaway here. All these creators are doing things different ways. Tiny and left completely the big two isn't even really publishing at any smaller places besides the stuff that's already been coming out.
Well, for a long time now, the entire comics industry, I think, has been creator driven. Even before, Substack and all of that, everything was creator driven. You went to books because of who was writing it, not necessarily, it hasn't, the comics industry hasn't really been the, like, I'm going to follow Batman book forever because it's the Batman book.
And that does happen, but you're right.
Yeah.
A lot of times Batman makes a writer.
So yeah, this is just an extension of that now.
You think Image is actually behind and they're just now catching up with this exclusives thing?
Well, no, I'm just saying that this is, the natural extension of that, that Image being the creator-owned place is now going to start paying to have these creators on their team,
Sure.
And it is a great sign for him. I mean, Jeff Lemire is arguably the best writer working today, or at least he's like in the pantheon.
It's definitely up there.
The greatest writer on the planet. I would consider him the greatest comic book writer.
Pound for pound.
Right now. I mean, there's other guys that rank up there, Tiny and included, Taylor, they're in there. Okay, this does not affect his plans for Black Hammer. Black Hammer is still going to finish.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's finishing, though.
Exactly.
So that is a change of plans, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, no. It was always finishing, though. He had announced that previously in a previous newsletter. Through 22 and 23, Black Hammer Reborn, Madam Dragonfly, and Black Hammer The End will continue as planned through 2023.
Man, I'm surprised.
And all the new Black Hammer comics that he has planned for Substack, which again were already announced. He's going to continue to push those through Substack. And he's also doing Fish Flies over at Substack, which he's doing the art and the writing for. But it's huge. It's huge.
So if somebody,
thank you for stopping by.
Wait. Yeah, if somebody down the line were to try to adapt some Black Hammer material for TV or movie or what have you, I guess they'd have to go straight to Jeff Lemire then, right?
Say again. I'm sorry. Say that. Ask that again. I don't want to mess up the answer.
If someone were to adapt Black Hammer into other media, they go straight to Jeff Lemire for that, right?
Yes, he owns that. That was always his. Even with his deal with Dark Horse, they were just publishing it. They didn't have anything. That's how most of the shit at Image Comics works too. Mm-hmm. They own their shit. However, Image just has this in-house set of fucking amazing people who have made these ins with different, people in Hollywood to where why would they go anywhere else? These are just folks like you and me who do a book at Image Comics, and then Bob Kirkman, who's your guy in your department, calls you and says, hey, somebody says they want to do a thing of yours. What are you going to do? Go shop it around now? You know what I mean? So Image, I think, is doing the right thing. Picking up Jeff Lemire sets, in my opinion, a precedent where, all right, and hear me out, because I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. We already know what Image Comics is picking up in terms of licensed shit. The Trover shit. There's a couple of other things that we mentioned.
Transformers
in the context of picking up Hasbro properties. Jeff Lemire, Transformers or G.I. Joe? I want him on Transformers. He would do better on G.I. Joe.
He would do better on G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Honestly, he'd do well on whatever you put him on, but that is an interesting idea.
I mean, he should do both if they get both.
He should do the crossover, the Shioli style crossover.
Oh yeah.
Eli, wouldn't Lemire get hella paid if Gideon Falls or Black Hammer movies get made? Gideon Falls and Black Hammer are both in discussions right now for different projects. Gideon Falls, I think, is already optioned for a series. It might be a movie, but I think it's a series. And Black Hammer, we don't know anything specific, but Jeff Lemire says that people are looking at Black Hammer. That leads me to think it's like going to be an animated thing.
Those I think would both do better as shows than movies.
I don't know, dude. Gideon Falls would make for a really cool movie, dude. I mean, just because it's long form doesn't mean it has to be, long form.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they could trim it down, but
they could trim it down. Unless nobody sees them since they ain't Disney shit. Yeah, right. Man, I hate that. You've been hanging out with fucking Leroy too long, dude. Don't let Leroy fucking fool you that nobody is seeing anything but Disney shit. All right, everybody is seeing other shit.
There are other streaming services.
Yeah, there's other everythings. So yeah, great for Jeff Lemire. I cannot wait to see what he's doing next. We know that next big project, Mythos or whatever it's called, that's coming out. Anyway, Timeless number 1. Go ahead.
Speaking of Jeff Lemire, though, man, speaking of him doing Transformers, I just want to see him attempt to draw a Transformer. I just want to see what that looks like, because it would look weird as fuck. I don't know if I want it in a book because it probably look too weird as fuck. But I want to see at least one picture of a Transformer.
What's the book where Megatron goes to the Junkion planet and meets the Quintesson? And
it's Monstrosity.
That art is kind of Lemire-esque.
That was Livio Remondelli. No.
Well, was it Livio? Well, they have a similar understated style.
I can actually see Lemire drawing like Joe characters a bit more.
I could definitely see him drawing Joe characters.
For sure. And I don't want him to
I'd love to see his Snake Eyes.
I don't want him to do art unless he, you know what I mean? I don't want him to do. No.
Oh, he is.
I just want to see the Transformer just for the oddity of it,
Yeah, he is a way, way better writer than he is an artist, but he ain't shabby as an artist. He does have a very unique style. And yeah, it would be cool to see.
It works.
It would be cool to see like an outlandish character, like a Transformer, drawn in his outlandish style.
Sure. Yeah, this is a guy who would never have to write again. He could just take, commissions. If he, I'd pay him to draw me something. Anyway, moving on. Timeless number 1. Did anyone else read this? It was a big ad for what Marvel's got coming in the next year. The biggest takeaway was Miracle Man coming to the Marvel universe.
Miracle Man is a character that's only interesting because of legal copyright bullshit.
And Alan Moore.
I feel like they try to make Miracle Man a thing every 5 to 10 years,
It's true.
and he never becomes a thing.
It's true.
Because
But-
the only thing that makes Miracle Man interesting is that Alan Moore wrote him.
It's
Alan
so
Moore-
far from being Alan Moore's best work, though.
The thing about it is, it's almost part of. If you're sorry, I'm a devotee of Alan Moore.
It's about the myth of Alan Moore. You know,
Exactly.
you can really see him develop as a storyteller
Yes.
during that run.
Yeah,
That's what it's really more about.
This is some of his early
stuff.
shit.
Which
and he
by the way, you
deconstructed
should
the
really
superhero
watch,
here
or
well.
you should really read that Alan Moore Captain Britain run, Gomer, because
It's
that
good.
is
No, I've read
really
that.
early. Okay, you did read that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've read everything Alan Moore has done. I've read. Yeah, it's good too. It's good too. It doesn't feel like a Marvel book,
No, it doesn't.
not at all. But yeah, this is really early Alan Moore Miracle Man, where he deconstructed a character before he did Watchmen, before he did Swamp Thing, before he did anything. Where he was doing his thing. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Miracle Man, I feel like,
don't
as
know.
a story, just is noteworthy because of like the spectacle of it, right? The
Yeah.
hyper violence on display. There's
Yeah.
nothing particularly noteworthy about it beyond that.
I mean,
it'll be like any other time Marvel tries one of these special characters. He'll have a hot number one. He'll be cool for
with
about
50
a year.
fucking variants,
Right, he'll be cool
Yeah.
for about a year, and then he'll fizzle out, just like Conan.
And then he'll join. No, and then he'll join some fucking team where he'll
Yeah,
be all nerfed.
the Marvel
And who
Avengers.
cares? Who
or something like that.
cares? Yeah, gunless Punisher. He's got swords, Eli. All right, he's got ninja swords. Dude, I can't wait. Eli is gonna. He has been bitching about this new Punisher since it was announced. That book's gonna come out from Jason Aaron, and you're gonna fucking love it.
I mean, it's a Jason Aaron written Punisher book, so I got high hopes for it, honestly.
Me too. Me too.
I don't think I'm going to get it. I don't care about the Punisher, but
yeah. Oh no, I'm definitely getting it. More Marvel news. They announced Judgment Day. Really, it's just a teaser. Avengers.
They're still trying to make Eternals a thing, man.
Okay, I will say though there is a natural source of conflict between the Avengers and the Eternals right now because they are hanging out in the corpse of their god as their home base right now.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that a lot. I don't know how the X-Men get involved.
There is a natural tie with the X-Men, I would say, just from the style of the book that Eternals is. Eternals really gives off a knockoff X-Men vibe when you're reading the book.
Yeah.
Just how it's designed, with it has those paragraph breaks like the X-Men books have, where it
does.
Yeah,
it's like it's not. Oh yeah, it's the damn fucking. I don't know.
The world telling
pictographs
you
and
stuff.
shit, and
right.
Like there's an ad for a lawyer in this week's X-Men. For a space lawyer.
That was the same, or very close to the space lawyer ad from New Mutants way back when Hickman was writing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is very close. Yeah.
I love this cover to X-Men #9 because it feeds right out of Inferno, or at least the cover does. I mean, that dude to the left there that's the Mars dude, right? The Phobos guy, right?
The one sitting down?
No, the dude behind him.
I think that might be oh god, what was his name?
I don't even remember. Dr. Human. Dr. Human. That's all I know. He's a human guy. He loves humans. He's badass. He's more badass than Tony Stark was in the Avengers when Hickman was writing him.
Fei Long was the guy's name.
Yeah, Fei Long.
Oh yeah, Fei Long.
He's badass, dude. All right, that was kind of our lead into X-Men. Destiny of X is still on the way. Yeah, it appears that it might already be here with Inferno ending this week, and I don't know, the Amazing X-Men number, whatever it was this week, 6, I think. Oh, Jesus, awesome. But
number 6.
First up, in with the new, but we're learning more and more about the old. Hickman had plans for Storm and T'Challa that Marvel did not. They were going to have a baby. Did not allow because of their plans for Black Panther. Their space plans for Black Panther kind of sucked. So I really wish they would have let him do this. Bendis is quoted as saying in an interview, the first one was going to be when Storm is screwed up and injured, and when Jean and Emma come out of the psychic rescue. Remember that from the one shots?
I do remember that. Yeah, that was pretty. That was all those one shots. That one was one of the better ones. Honestly,
agreed. I really enjoyed it.
It was all Russell Dodderman art. It was fantastic.
Yes, it was
yeah.
fantastic.
So what's the complaint, right? Yeah.
Well, they were going to find out that she was pregnant and didn't have a mutant virus techno-mutant virus.
Whoa, they really changed that then.
And she was pregnant with her and T'Challa's kid. And then, this is the best part, and then the next couple of issues would have had her having to go into the world and having the kid, and the kid would be raised in the world. So it would be this heir to 2 kingdoms.
Right, and it had come out, aged an adult.
And didn't know his mother or his father, and would come out not knowing what was going on.
Presumably, he'd be a mutant, too.
He'd be a mutant and a Wakandan. Yeah, heir to the throne of Wakanda, but also... I don't know. I mean, the direction they took Storm is fucking great. Hickman goes on, but you would have gotten a whole bunch of stuff coming out of the world that would have crashed into all of that. And the reason why we didn't do that is because Marvel had other Black Panther plans that got pushed in.
It also sounds kind of reminiscent to other characters that they've done in the past. I mean, there have been other characters that have been like lost in time. And
Hulkling did that. That was his shtick. He didn't know who he was.
You remember
Naomi
Dimension Z with Cat's kid who got.
I mean, yeah, certainly like
Remender. I love that shit.
Bringing in the character's kid and then aging them up. Yeah, that's been done a million times before. But it occasionally works out kind of well. That whole thing we have with Tom Taylor's Superman right now. Yeah. That's an example of it done pretty well.
That worked out eventually.
Fair enough. It was garbage at first. Yeah, that was dog shit for a while, but then, hey, you hand it to a good writer, and all of a sudden, wow, this is pretty cool.
You can make any bad idea good eventually, depending on who you
have. Oh, sure, a bad idea can get fixed by another writer for sure. But they didn't want to go in that direction. This is the craziest part to me. Russell was already halfway through drawing the book, so all that stuff in those giant-sized books, all of those changed on the fly, which is why it's a little bit of a mess.
Damn.
Right? Like, this is where they go into Storm's, like, subconscious, right? And it was supposed to mirror, like, the spirit world that T'Challa of Wakanda, that T'Challa goes to. It was supposed to mirror that. And, I mean, there's the obvious, birth, fertility, going on with this big, massive tree, and this too, with the fertility, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's really weird how things happen, dude. I'm sorry. If I was Hickman, I'd be fucking pissed. How the fuck does an editor not let you get this story when your artist is halfway through the fucking book? I'd be pissed too. I'd have fucking left too if I had a Substack gig. That's bullshit, man.
That is some bullshit.
That is bullshit.
Although I am curious, like, why do 2 powerful telepaths have to go into your mind to let you know that you are pregnant? That seems like the least effective way.
I don't think it was to find out that she was pregnant
the easy way.
I think she was still sick. If you remember, she did have to go into the world to get healed from the technovirus or something. She had to go somewhere.
Some fucking thing, yeah. They went into the world for some reason.
She was still going to have that technovirus, but also be pregnant. It was going to be both those things.
Okay.
Yeah. So. I mean, but anyway, Storm is really kicking ass. So we got more books. We were right. X-Men Red. Well, I say we. It was fucking Adam. Adam was fucking right. X-Men Red, Al Ewing, Stefano Caselli, and X-Men Red #2. They drop on April 6th and April 27th. We'll deal with both the promise and the threat that Arakko represents to the Marvel Universe, which is thrilling for me. We got to meet a new Arakian mutant this week, and then he immediately was murdered. But he was cool. He was cool while he was there for a minute.
For 1 second.
For the one panel he was fucking there.
Yeah, these warrior mutants are kind of neat. It is interesting to see that other perspective. And it did establish Fei Long is pretty badass that he just fucking jobbed him so easy.
He did, I guess. Yeah, it was a real easy job, though. Anyway, in X-Men Red #1, it asked the question, who can save the Red Planet? The mutants of Arakko spent millennia scarred by war. But on what was once called Mars, they're learning to live in peace. Storm knows the Red Planet needs something greater than a queen, but Abigail Brand has other plans.
I was about to say, like, the way this image is set up and knowing what we know now, that absolutely looks like Abigail Brand is the villain of this book.
Yeah, I mean, that's
She
great.
definitely is. She has to be.
The thing about it is she doesn't care about the machines and she doesn't care about the humans. She just basically cares about Earth. Mm-hmm. And she sees
and I think that
Arakko as a threat to
her. I think that makes it a rather fascinating place for her character to be. It's like she's not like a villain in a traditional way, but she doesn't give a shit about mutants, humans, machines, or any of this other bullshit. They're all just Earthers to her. She said so herself.
It's really got this Nick Fury vibe to it.
I'm really excited for this book because and I'm really excited now for Destiny of X overall because the whole first wave that we've seen so far, it's all been set up, and now this book feels like they're really going to delve into the story of Arakko now.
Yeah,
they're done setting up the sword station. They're done setting up Storm as queen. They're done setting up all of the shit. We know who all the sides are. We know Storm's on one side, Abigail Brand's on the other side. We know all the players, and now shit can actually happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's a testament to how good of a writer Al Ewing is that basically his entire sword run has been tie-ins and setup, often simultaneously. And it's still so good.
That sword run has a lot in common with Hickman's X-Men run because both of those books were entirely set up, and they were almost all of them were like one-shots.
Yeah, I mean, Hickman's whole run on the X-Men was really nothing but world building.
Yeah. Another book we're getting is Legion of X. If the X-Men Red is the diplomacy, in this wild new place.
This is the Legion pretentious book that's up its own ass.
This is no, it is Cy Spurrier. Yes, it is James Bowser.
This is basically a continuation of his Way of X that he did last summer, which was okay. And Adam's right; it disappeared up its own ass on more than one occasion.
This seems like it's going to be a little bit of a different take to me. Here's a bit of it. To remain a mutant sanctuary, Krakoa must safeguard itself against those who would damage its peace or traumatize its people. The lost must be found, and the wicked must face redemption or retribution. I don't know, man. This seems like it's going to be a different book than that, and it's got Juggernaut in it. I'm really stoked about.
Well, it's a team book with Juggernaut and Nightcrawler in it, so it's gonna be awesome.
Like, Dr. Nemesis is cool. Blindfold is coming into the fold.
I'm interested in it. Legion's in it, so
yeah.
I loved his Legion in Way of X. That was my favorite character from that book. And Nightcrawler's always been one of my favorite characters in general. Even Dust, I see there. She was in the book for like 5 minutes. She was pretty good in that.
Well, Blindfold.
I mean, Dust.
Well, no, they're calling her Blindfold in the solicit.
That's a different character, but whatever.
Well, is there a Blindfold in any of these pictures? I think that's who they're talking about, right?
Whatever.
Well, yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I'm just trying to make sure that I've got my info right. Maybe Marvel fucked it up.
That's
rad. No, I'm with you though.
Yeah, Way of X there was a lot to like about it, but it did kind of get all pretentious and flowery at points, and it became a bog to read.
Yeah, overall, it really just depends on what take this book goes in, which direction it goes in.
Yeah,
it does. I can kind of get down for maybe Nightcrawler leading sort of a mutant Inquisition squad a little bit. That would be pretty awesome.
That could be cool.
That's exactly what's in my notes, dude.
I liked Way of X enough to give this a shot, but I have tempered expectations for it.
I mean, Nightcrawler's still on the Quiet Council. Yeah, we know how ruthless they are. We know now that he knows the big secret. Everybody on the council now knows the big secret. So, I mean, who knows? This is what Destiny of X, I think, is all about. That last fucking page of... Because if you look at all of
the table's set now, and now it's time for everybody to play, to eat.
Exactly. If you look at all of these books, there is somebody on the Quiet Council, like on all these teams. There is somebody who knows what's actually going on at the head of all of these teams. So, I don't know. All right, we got no more Marvel shows, so we're talking Book of Boba Fett. We got 2 episodes because we skipped last week because of we had the best of 2020.
Yeah, we did our year in review stuff.
This show mostly so far has been dances with Tusken Raiders.
It's dances with Banthas.
Yeah,
in my notes.
But you know what? I've been okay with it. Star Wars has never been original ever. Anybody who ever tells you that, they're wrong. It's always just ripped off plots from other older movies.
Kurosawa movies and countless other things.
Star Wars has been better off because of it, so I'm not angry about it. It's been pretty awesome so far. That's pretty cool. We get Black
Santi. I always call him Black Santi.
Karzistan or something.
That makes our Darth Vader #1's worth a little bit
my
more.
Darth Vader #1's up 60%. So there's also a Star Wars number, I think it's 8 cover that he's on there fighting Obi-Wan, which
Mhm.
is amazing. That's gone up 60%. So yeah, keep your eyes on there. My favorite part of this was this monster right here.
Oh yeah. Well, Robert Rodriguez directed that movie, so I
Yep.
guess he decided to give the Spider Monkey from Spy Kids 2 a call.
My favorite part about this was when Boba kills this monster and the little kid takes credit for it. That happened before in Star Wars, where somebody killed a monster and got zero fucking credit for it.
Well, the chieftain
On
knew,
Tatooine.
right? Like he knew.
Yeah, the chief knew what was up. The chief knew. Yeah, Black Cranston. Is that how you say it, Cranston?
I thought it started with a K. I'm certain that's not
It's
true.
It starts with like
2
3
Ks.
fucking Ks.
That might be how you pronounce it. That might be the phonetic
Yeah, that might be how
spelling.
you pronounce it. Cranston
But
sounds
yeah,
like he's going to the study hall.
I feel like it's been a while since we got like a cool new Star Wars creature, and so yeah, this one was pretty rad.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I've enjoyed this to start off with. It's definitely the same vibe as Mando. It's very thoroughly in the spin-off realm so far. But yeah, it's got interesting politics. I'm enjoying Boba Fett's dances with Tusken Raiders, which I never thought of it in that way before, but that is pretty spot on.
It definitely is.
Yeah, the whole scene in the second episode where they're doing the speeder chase with the train, that was a cool action set piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
very awesome.
I'm enjoying it so far.
I am much more interested in the future parts of it than the past parts of it, because I do know that the past parts of it is all just dances with Tusken Raiders.
It does seem like he's now at the place where he was when we first saw him in Mandalorian. So I don't know if we're going to continue doing that much more.
Agree, Eli. Okay, Mandalorian, right? The Mandalorian. It was a fucking Star Wars Western, period. That's what this is. It's another Star Wars Western.
Exactly what it
I'm
is.
okay with that. It's got a different tone. It's got a different take. It's the bandits taking possession of the town. You know what I mean?
I'm more interested in that part of it than the Tusken Raider part of it. So
I think that's going to come together. I think
it will eventually, right? I would imagine as the show goes, the Tusken Raider parts will fade away, and then
I mean, what's going to happen there? Is Boba going to murder those motherfuckers? Are they?
Oh, of course, he's gonna murder those 2 Hutts.
Yeah. Smiling Vader meme.
I figured the next past thing we'll see is him rescuing Finnick, because that all happened before we caught up with him again. But I can't think of much else they need to cover before we just like plop into where we caught up with him in Mando.
How many episodes?
We're definitely there.
I think 6.
I think it's 6. Yeah. So
okay. Yeah. So we're probably there. Yeah.
And it's that first episode, Stranger in a Strange Land, short as fuck. I was like, what?
Super short.
The next one,
best part about that though, they followed Patton Oswalt's
Parks and Rec
thing to the T.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's been pretty rad.
Going to be mob enforcers for the Fence Syndicate.
That would be pretty cool.
I could definitely see him using them to that extent, but I mean, do the Raiders even give a shit about any of that? You know what I mean?
Well, that's why he's calling it his blood debt, you know?
Yeah, sure. It's interesting. Either way, you know, it's good watching. I don't give a fuck. Anytime you can visit the Star Wars universe, it's a good fucking time, you know? We'll talk about episode 3 next week, but now...
yummy.
It's a huge week for food news. Cakesters are coming back. That's the nastiest one you're going to get. These are Oreo cakesters. They're disgusting. They're just gross. They're actually bringing them back at the Blockbuster in Boise or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
There's still an open Blockbuster in Boise?
Yeah, it's the last one.
It's the last one, yeah.
There's a documentary on Netflix called The Last Blockbuster. You should check it out. It's worth
I thought the last one was like in Oregon or Alaska somewhere.
Oh, maybe it is Oregon. Bend. You're right. Bend, Oregon, not Boise, Idaho. It's all the same to me, Pacific Northwest. Just kidding, guys.
Hell, fuck you, people of Idaho.
Tales from Jabba's Palace has a story of Fett surviving the Sarlacc. Yes, that's Peter David, no? Tales of Jabba's Palace. Anyway. Yeah, Cakes are coming back now. A little bit other news. Turkey Hill has a mystery flavor fucking ice cream. You buy this ice cream for $4. You try it. You scan that thing with your phone. You guess. If you guess, you can win ice cream for life.
Okay.
That's the most ridiculous
thing
I've ever
how
seen.
close do you have to get?
What do you mean close? You got to nail it.
Because they have very specific weird names for some of these ice creams. It's not just chocolate.
Oh no, it's not like a Ben and Jerry's flavor.
It's not just chocolate. It's Dutch chocolate chip. You know, there's always like 3 different parts of the name.
Oh, okay. It was an anthology.
I will start off though by saying I have never heard of Turkey Hill ice cream before.
I've never heard of
Turkey Hill is
Turkey Hill
out of
ice
the
cream either.
Northeast. They're now owned by the Kroger company. You've heard of Kroger.
Well, I imagine they'll start having it down here then.
Yeah, they're in Kroger's. But the actual food news is a double dose of Taco Bell, a follow-up to a previous story we had on here. Rumor has it that the Mexican pizzas will be coming back.
Thank God.
In 2020, Taco Bell revamped their menu, simplified things, but they got rid of the Mexican pizza because they said it costs too much to the environment.
It costs too much to make the paper.
Fuck the environment, okay? Thanks, Eli.
Thank you for sharing.
Bro.
Yeah,
I want my shitty double tostada.
As we're talking about Taco Bell. So, yeah, they said it was too much waste, that it was bad for the environment. Come on, man. That is a very noble reason, but when 10 different fucking companies that don't have a retail service are bigger polluters than 90% of the people on the planet Earth, give me a Mexican pizza, all right? What they should do is create a Mexican pizza storage thing so I can just bring my own. Say, here's my Mexican pizza plate, and they hand it back to me through the window. But the actual news, taco lovers.
That'd be some dirty ass Mexican pizza plates.
I'm gonna clean mine.
You're going to get your lunch at Taco Bell.
You are gonna clean yours, but there'll be a lot of people who don't.
Yeah,
man. When you know what you're in for when you go to Taco Bell, you are not concerned about the sanitation.
Yeah, dude.
Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, yeah, dude, no shit. Bring back the 7-layer burrito. I think you can actually order it. You just can't say, give me a 7-layer burrito. You have to say, give me a burrito a la carte. And it doesn't cost you like $8 for a burrito. Anyway, joining Netflix, joining Hulu, joining every fucking company on the planet, Taco Bell launches a $10 a month taco subscription service.
Do you get all the tacos you want?
Every day for 30 consecutive days for $10, you can get a taco exclusively on the Taco Bell app.
Just one taco?
One taco a day.
All right, so
that's not worth it.
Yeah, how much do you have to go back? And assuming you're just getting the tacos and not getting like the drinks and the other things they're probably thinking you are going to get before this actually becomes worth it.
Yeah, now there's several different things on there that you can. It's just not a taco. It's a crunchy taco supreme, soft.
But one item, right?
Soft taco supreme, spicy potato soft taco for the vegans.
It's still though just one taco. That's not worth it.
Yeah, and the Doritos Locos and Doritos.
Nobody goes to Taco Bell for one taco.
I mean. All right, how about this?
And if you actually are going every day for 30 days, you are going to fucking die.
Hear me out. If you are working for a company like DoorDash and you're going to Taco Bell every day anyway,
that makes sense. Maybe.
That's the only way I can rationalize
you get your free taco for lunch or something between stops or whatever. But
yeah. I like Taco Bell too, Eli. I could eat Taco Bell every day. You should not eat Taco Bell every day.
No.
But I could eat Taco Bell every day. I don't know. Maybe if I did
God
eat Taco
have
Bell
mercy
every day
on your soul.
Exactly. That's what I'd be begging for. So yeah, that's a great idea, albeit a bit of a disgusting one. Yeah, right. No, they're not. None of that good high dollar shit is in there. They do have the vegetarian one though, the spicy potato soft taco, and I've heard that's actually not bad for you.
Man, get out of here with that shit. A, anything from Taco Bell is bad for you, and B, why the fuck would I want this like the shittiest version of a quesadilla?
Yeah. We do not have a moment of destruction this week.
No, we don't.
But we will mention that this man, Chris Cox. Is the new chief executive officer of Hasbro effective February 25th. He currently serves, and this is really telling, serves as the president and chief operating officer of Hasbro's Wizards of the Coast gaming division.
Ooh.
Wizards Dungeons and Dragons has had the best year they have had since there's been Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I mean, everybody has been locked inside recently, so
it's true.
Dungeons and Dragons is a great game to play when you're locked inside.
And even before the pandemic, I mean, Dungeons and Dragons has like moved out of just like the nerd exclusive realm, you know?
It really has. They're pushing movies. You know, there's a Magic movie. There's a new Dungeons and Dragons movie. Hasbro's definitely been on the G.I. Joe and Transformers front in terms of movies. So, on a side note, is this not the greatest fucking job in the world this guy's getting?
That is pretty cool.
Fuck him, man.
And I do have to ask though, is he the guy who came up with the idea to make D&D books in the Magic the Gathering setting and to make like D&D characters onto Magic cards? Because if he was the first guy to think about that, he is definitely trouncing his predecessors because apparently he never thought of that.
He definitely earned the role. Yeah, if that's what he was doing. Those cards made a shit ton
They
of
left
money.
some low-hanging fruit for him to pick, I guess.
Yeah, so good for him. What a great gig, you know. He gets all the new toys like before they come out. What are you doing? Playing Magic the Gathering and making like $20,000
Playing Magic the Gathering with like Unicron.
Man,
Stop.
I wonder if there's like somebody
Stop.
who works at like Wizards who has like the whole Maximilian Pegasus thing going on where he has like these broken ass cards that only he can use.
Yeah. That's one of the perks of being the CEO. No one beats my ass.
I play, I win. I just win the game right now.
Right.
Tap one land, any color, you know.
Let's do comics. I'll go first this week. I've got a great honorable mention. But before I get into that, does anyone want to mention anything from last week? I mean, besides the Green Hell book.
Green Hell was the definite winner last week.
Wonderful book.
Devil's Reign #2 probably would have been my second just because it was a pretty thin list, but
Last
it was
just okay.
It was a transition issue, you know.
It definitely was. I was not impressed with Devil's Reign #2. It was good, but it wasn't great. But yeah, this book, this is the real deal. Jeff Lemire, we were just talking about him. Probably his last book that he'll do at either Marvel or DC.
Oh,
Just
I guess
saying.
that spec value just got up too. Man,
Exactly.
we are doing well for ourselves tonight.
That's why I wanted to mention it. But honorable mention, Superman Son of Kal-El #6 was hot, but I wanted to mention a book called The Fourth Man.
Hey, that's one of my honorable mentions.
Dude, this book was great, and I'll say why
It was cool.
in a moment. Why I really enjoyed it. It's Jeff McComsey and Mike Deodato with Lee Ruffridge doing colors. This is the Raza cover here. We went on about this during the preview show last week. It was really fun cover, but it's an interesting hardboiled crime comic. It's centering on an overarching story, but it's only giving us a single point of view for each of the 4 issues.
Right. The framework is that there are 3 people that are dead in a city morgue. The cops come and they look at a body, and the book is the story of how that body got to the morgue. Yeah.
How that person became a body. It's really interesting, but the art for me is really interesting. Who is this?
Oh, I forgot his name, but I have the other ones. I mean, you have Paul Giamatti in here.
This is Paul Winfield. He was in The Terminator, also in Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Captain, what's his name?
Yeah, you have Paul Giamatti in here. You have Ed Harris.
James Caan. No, I thought it was James Caan. It might be Ed Harris, but I think
it's Ed Harris.
There's Paul Giamatti.
The guy in the car that threatens Paul Giamatti.
Oh yeah.
That's
Morgan
totally
Freeman,
Ed Harris.
Pretty easy there. You don't even need a look, right?
My favorite is Bill Paxton.
Yeah, Regina King.
I'm sure
right
there's
here.
an issue devoted entirely around the Bill Paxton character.
That's James Caan. That's who I thought.
I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about the enforcer dude in the car who goes through the building and sneaks around.
Nathan. Very sad.
And then
beats that earlier. Sorry, Adam. Go ahead.
He goes through the building and he sneaks around and he sneaks up on Paul Giamatti, and then he is like, "If I ever see you again, I'm gonna fucking kill you."
Yeah.
That guy. That's Ed Harris.
Oh, it was wild, dude. It was wild. I mean, I don't know what to think about this. I'm all good with photo reference, but this seems almost like. Come on.
It's really weird.
He got that from this fucking movie. From Terminator.
Exactly.
That's Paul Winfield and fucking Terminator right there.
I mean, if it's meant to be a gag and not just something where it's like he was hoping you wouldn't notice, I feel like those are two different things.
Sure. No, it's definitely noticeable. There's
well, if you read in the back, they have little things from the creators, and he straight up says like, "Oh no, I straight up casted this like from a movie. I picked these
Oh, that's
actors
cool.
purposefully."
That's actually
It's like an Alex Ross thing, you know. He does the same thing. He picks models and people that he knows that he casts the characters as, and that's what he draws them.
yeah.
So
I
I don't know. It's
that
interesting.
is
It has a cool vibe to it. It
does.
reminds me a lot of like Fargo a little bit.
It's fun. It's really cool.
It's a small town crime with people who are just in way over their heads.
If they ever, I guess, did adapt this, it'd be interesting to see how many of these people they can get to
Right.
play the parts they were cast in.
Right.
Ed Harris is probably a little too old to play the guy that they have.
Yeah. Yeah, these are definitely those folks in their fucking prime. I mean, this movie was 40 fucking years ago. It's Terminator. Dude.
Yeah, he ain't.
I don't even know if Paul Winfield's still alive, you know? Anyway, I'm anxious to see where it goes. You know, if they can pull it off at the end and make it actually count. You know what I mean? Because, you know, there's going to be a connection here that's going to be really interesting. So, but my number 3 is Dark Knights of Steel, number 3. Tom Taylor and Yasmin.
That's an honorable mention from me.
Yeah, it continues to be a new classic, I think. It's destined to be a new classic. It's Game of Thrones with DC characters, and that shit is just fucking genius. Look, we got a nice ship. Everybody gets murdered in here, but
Superman's sister going around here just fucking people up.
Murdering.
It's definitely a setting that is just begging to be merchandised.
Oh, an animated movie. If there's not
an
an animated movie planned by the time this hits issue 8, I will be very, very surprised.
Exactly.
This is perfect for an animated movie, dude. Perfect. WB doesn't have to worry about stepping on Game of Thrones. They own Game of Thrones. This is perfect, dude, for an animation. So that's my number 3. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, like I said it before, honorable mention, The Fourth Man, number 1. It's just a cool little crime story.
It's fun.
The art did throw me off too, but
I caught it immediately.
I was okay with it.
I caught it
immediately too.
I was like, that's Paul fucking Giamatti.
Yeah, it's Paul Giamatti in your face, and he's pretty recognizable.
Yeah.
But my number 3 was Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 6.
That was my number 3 as well.
Nice.
You know, this was just honestly, this was just an okay issue of this book. But it was still an okay issue of this book. Is still pretty damn good.
It's kind of got that Pixar thing going where like their mediocre ones are still better than most other stuff.
For sure.
I had some fun character interactions in this.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the whole Damien thing.
Yeah, I was about to mention that was my favorite part of the book was John's interaction with Damien in this book. And
speaking of editors, I caught earlier that when this book was originally drawn, the guy who drew it,
John Timms.
John Timms, he drew it as Tim Drake, not Damien, as the Robin in there, and they had to go in last minute and fix every panel. And
the quote was they got it fixed
in
plenty of time. There wasn't any, big problem there, him getting it fixed. But I do like that angle of the story just because, oh, cool, editor went in there. I like it more as how legacy characters work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a really funny.
It's Robin, but with Robin, there's 8 Robins,
and you can't just draw any fucking Robin. You have got to draw Robin the way this person in a mask, who's just a plain-faced little boy who's been drawn 1,000 times by 1,000.
You can't draw the same plain-faced, black-haired little boy the exact same way as the other plain-faced, black-haired little boy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just had to go back and drop a foot off his height to make him Damien instead of Tim.
Well, he dropped that and he changed the hair. It's really about the hair.
Enough.
There's an article on Bleeding Cool where they made the comparisons, and
it's his face too. Damien has a lot rounder of a face, apparently.
Yeah, it's almost like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can tell which turtle is which by the attitude on their face.
If they're doing it well, you should be able to tell even if you can't see the mask color.
Yeah. Excellent choice. Always a great book. I didn't want to put 2 Tom Taylor books on my top 3, and I had a lot more fun with Dark Knight.
Honestly, like I said before, this was kind of. This was a top-heavy week in comics. The top 2 were great, but the rest of them were just kind of okay
in the middle,
as far as I was okay. Yeah, so it was good, but could have been better.
Awesome. Taylor, Honorable mentions.
I'll do an honorable mention for Black Widow number 13. It was just one big fight scene, but it was pretty rad. I mean, they're jumping around skyscrapers. You do miss Elena Casagrande, but the artist they put in here for a flashback sequence, so it's more understandable. He did a good job. He even did his own attempt at one of those sprawling sequential art fights.
Best page of the whole book.
For sure, yeah.
Was that. I did not like the coloring on here. I get it. It was a flashback, but when the whole book is a flashback, that coloring just does not work. The coloring has to be just for the flashback part of the book. This part was all flashback part.
I feel like they were trying to go for like a neon look because it's like in Madripoor and everything.
Man.
But yeah,
you're not wrong, and it kind of works as like a neon. Man, what's that word for that genre? It's neon action or something like that. It kind of works for that, especially the cover. She's even working it in the cover with all the Asian, shit in the background and the different colors on her outfit, even though it's not. But yeah, good choice. Always a solid book.
Also throw in an honorable mention for Dark Knights of Steel we already mentioned. And I'll do my last honorable mention for Inferno number 4.
Oh, that's on my list, man.
I'm sure it is. Totally. I just didn't want to have 2 X books on my list is the main reason. But yeah, this was a good way to kind of set up a status quo moving forward, but not a lot actually happened in this book. The fight scenes between Magneto and Nimrod were all pretty rad.
Well, it wasn't about ending. It was about setting up. It was about finishing the setup.
It's about finishing the beginning, ending the beginning.
That's exactly what it was. It was ending the setup and giving us a status quo that the X-Men could live in
moving forward forever.
Yeah. Not forever. It won't be forever, but
that's what the last page
for however many years they're going to string this along. I mean the status quo, like everything eventually converges back to a status quo in comics. We know that, but
I mean it does. But what's the difference between living in a school mansion or living on an island, Krakoa? I mean, they always had their, whether it was local politics that was getting in the way or geopolitics. Now it's galactic politics. It's all basically the same drama with different paint. So they could keep this forever. And I like all the mutants in one place. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, this was a good read. It was a good note to go out on for Hickman's stuff. But the main thing holding me back for this book is I honestly never saw what the big fucking deal about keeping Moira a secret was in the first place. Like, I don't understand why that's this like earth-shattering revelation for the Quiet Council to know that.
To know that she was there?
Yeah.
Because they're all working off of her mutant power.
Okay, sure, but they do all sorts of time travel shenanigan bullshit all the time anyway. Why is this any different?
You're not wrong, but there were people who were suspect of Moira, and for good reason. That was the whole thing. She knew that they would be suspicious of her.
And I guess that it's a revelation here is that like Moira, like in her heart of hearts, she really wishes there were no mutants. That's her ultimate goal. That is an important revelation, to be sure.
So where is she pointing them? What direction was she actually pointing them? And what does this mean for mutants of Krakoa? It's like our entire shit was a fucking lie. Do they even know that? What has Emma actually told everybody? You know what I mean? Because Charles and Magneto have no fucking idea besides what Emma told them because they died before Charles could do a backup. I'm telling you, this does certainly build up. This is my number 2, actually, so, because we still have to get to
my number 2 also.
So I think there is a whole lot more on the bone here than what. I don't know. This does not feel like a satisfying ending to Hickman's reign as the head of X, but this does feel like a really good foundation moving forward with just Joe Blow from Kokomo. No bash to Joe Blow from Kokomo. There's good and bad X books, but this seems like a good foundation moving forward. I would much rather have seen Hickman carry this out all the way to the end.
Well, of course, yeah.
The way he did Secret Wars. Imagine if he'd have ended that run after Infinity. That's what this feels like. Imagine.
Yeah.
It would have been good. But Infinity is so much better after reading Secret Wars.
This is the timeline we're in. We just got to deal with what we do.
I need Moira's last timeline where Hickman finishes the fucking run. But Adam, let's just finish our Inferno talk. Anything else on Inferno?
No, not really. I mean, yeah, you're basically hit it on the head. It's not satisfying as an ending to Hickman's run on X-Men because it's not an ending.
Exactly.
Hickman didn't end it. He just left it going. But honestly, that's what the X-Men as a whole they need. He created a very solid foundation for the X-Men going forward, and now, for better or for worse, we get to see whatever all these new writers and returning writers are going to be able to do with it.
Yeah.
So, it's a difficult book because it is both a very satisfying and a very unsatisfying read.
Yeah, I hate it. But it's number 2. I hated it, but I loved it. It was.
But I loved it because I loved everything that was in it. I loved Cypher getting one over on pretty much everybody.
Yeah, Doug's the shit, man.
Doug is the shit.
His posse is awesome too.
We basically have 3 factions.
Yeah, I mean, he's built up quite the power base for himself, honestly.
Dude.
The island itself, not the least of them,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I don't know. It leaves me excited for the Destiny of X stuff coming forward.
I am excited about that, but yeah,
I'm more interested in Immortal X-Men now. Now I have more of an idea of what it is. It seems like it's going to be kind of like a Quiet Council book.
Yeah, me too. I agree. Yeah, we'll just see what happens. All right, we're way out of order. Taylor, number 3.
Oh, right. Yeah, I never said my number 3. My number 3 was Superman, Son of Kal-El. We already talked about that, so we can move on.
Yeah, fantastic book.
You can go ahead and do your number 2 then.
Yeah,
you guys want to sit here number 2. My number 2
X-Men.
My number 2 is X-Men, number 6.
That was my number 1.
Yeah, that's my number 1. So yeah, we can wrap here.
Taylor has to do his number 1.
I'll have to do my number 1. But yeah, let's talk X-Men.
I can't even imagine what his fucking number 1 is, but we've fucking mentioned every fucking book. What is happening? But yeah, this was a fantastic book. This was better than Inferno for setting.
I don't know. I will say my problem with this book is it does kind of feel more like an ad for stuff in the future than stuff going on now.
That's generally been true for this X-Men book the whole time. They are seeding. But more so than any other book in this run so far, this is doing something with something.
This is definitely doing something with characters.
This to me is a seed grown, man. I've been waiting on this Fei Long motherfucker to do something since page 1, issue 1.
That is what they started the book with. That's true.
I'm talking about the Captain Krakoa stuff.
I think the Captain Krakoa stuff has been going on too. That all revolves.
Oh, I know it. It's all revolving around the Urich.
And Ben Urich doing that story.
I know. They've been slow building that forever, but it still feels like a slow build because they're like, okay, we're going to show you Scott as Captain Krakoa, but we're not going to tell you why he's Captain Krakoa.
Oh, you're right. We're going to get that.
Even though we know, I'm assuming he died in a public way somehow.
I think I'm going to put my metaphor somewhere between you guys. This is not a seed that is still in the ground. It's not a seed that is grown, but it is a seed that is growing because we finally see Fei Long show up and wreck some shit.
All the Fei Long shit was fantastic.
I love that he did this. It's so fucking cool.
This is a really cool kind of like Empire Strikes Back type of moment for Orcus and the humans here. They show up. It's like, oh, okay, you've terraformed Mars. Well, we're terraforming this thing right up your fucking asshole here on the moon.
It instantly makes that X-Men Red book a lot more interesting, knowing that
instantaneously,
It also goes back to the Summers house on the fucking moon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And if the mutants are living on our moon, why can't we live on their moon?
Yeah, suck a dick, Araka. We got this.
Like this is a great example of him escalating the threat, right? He started off with Fei Long, and that was the very first thing he did on the very first pages, and now we finally see him show up on Mars, and he has clearly established himself as a pretty serious threat. He jobbed that one Iraqi guy. He has set up his moon base, and
I do have kind of a complaint. I hope moving forward that the new Iraqi people that they show off, they aren't just freaking jobbers, because there have been a lot of Iraqi characters just popping up just to job to an X-Men or an X-Men villain.
That's true.
Cable and Cyclops took down a couple of guys in a bar. The fucking pirate guy that Wolverine was fucking with, even though he did get over pretty well.
Children of the Atom, they beat up some Iraqi people.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
And then this
forgot about that.
Yeah, you're right. These guys
that one guy, what's his Karn, got jobbed by Storm.
Oh yeah,
Sort of.
Tarn.
Well,
yeah.
sort of. No, not Tarn. Oh yeah,
It was Tarn.
Tarn.
It was Tarn.
Tarn
Yeah,
the
but-
Uncaring, yeah.
But Tarn
Okay, not
did
my Tarn.
did his own ass kicking in that Hellion.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so-
That was like a
Yeah.
mutual like respect, I think, for the. But anyway,
another Zeb
but
Wells
yeah,
comic book.
this is a guy we never heard of, but he looked imposing, and Fei Long just fucking toasted him in one shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is definitely establishing. Okay, here's this guy we've seen before, and we know that he's a big threat now, but we know that he's still got some more shit coming down the pipe.
Yeah.
So
And who's this? Bay the Losing? Or
that's
some shit?
The Unbeatable.
Iska
or-
the Unbeaten.
Oh yeah,
Unbeaten.
Iska the Unbeaten. That's right. You should have taken her with you. If there's someone
Yeah, should
near
I bring
you
the invincible
whose
person with
power
me?
is
Yeah, let's do
invisibility,
that.
bring them along.
Well, that's why she didn't go though, because she
She
knew she
he was gonna
wouldn't
get his
win.
ass kicked. Yeah.
Exactly.
That
That's
is an
how her
interesting
powers
take
work.
on invincibility. Is that like
It's
she will
selective
win?
fighting. It's weird.
Yeah,
Being smart enough not to fight. I don't know if that counts, man.
she's like forced
I mean,
to switch sides when she's going to
Yeah.
lose. Yeah,
So I think
I'm
yes,
on your
the,
side now.
The Fei Long shit in this was badass. I definitely want to see where it goes. But the Captain Krakoa shit in this, because of what we don't know, is just so compelling to me, man. They
yeah.
they
So
mind
apparently
wipe-
they've erased Ben's mind. Yeah, and apparently Cyclops don't sit well with that.
So that's putting a rift between him and Krakoa.
Well,
and the
it
Quiet
doesn't
Council.
even look like that was what was the problem with Cyclops. The problem with Cyclops is that he's not allowed to be Cyclops, so he has to be Captain Krakoa.
'Cause they gotta
And the
keep
reason why he was
resurrection.
calling Ben was because he was going to snitch on the X-Men. He was going to be like, hey, no, resurrection is a thing, so he could be Cyclops again. So I think that's a big revelation that Cyclops is willing to sell out all of mutantdom just so he can be himself again.
Ah, man, it's wild. There's got to be more to it, man. I also want to see how his fucking outfit works, right? How is he flying around and shit?
Man, that's the
Plants.
least. That's something that we hardly even need to think about. They got all sorts of.
I wanna know. My
Cocoa
hope is
I'm
plant.
sure they'll get around to it, but yeah,
Forge-
Adam's right. This is definitely some like he has like the fucking wing seed or something, and like the
I wanna
fucking
say-
like
Yeah.
disguise like herb or something on his mask.
I'm thinking that Forge built him something from Krakoan tech where his beams power other shit.
Between Forge and Krakoa, they can hand wave
Right.
away anything they decide
No
to do at
shit.
this point.
No shit. So yeah, Pepe Larraz still killing it on that art. So yeah, great couple of X books. So those are our number ones, except for Taylor. Taylor, what is this surprising number one you've got this week?
My
Is it
number
all-
one is One Star Squadron number 2.
This book was heavy, man.
It was. This book continues to kind of like look at what it would be like for it to have superheroes to kind of live in this gig economy, right? It's like an exploration of capitalism. It's an exploration of like people trying to do good in the world, but getting kind of beaten down by the world instead. The main reason this is number one is because of a few panels towards the end of the book where Minuteman has been basically thrown into comic book jail, as they call it here.
Yeah.
And like they're like, okay, you got the one phone call, and he's like thinking about who he's going to call, and I'm quoting from the book here: someone who still has my back. Just give me a minute, I'll think of someone. But then the next panel, he's crying because he realizes he
No
can't
one.
think of a single person to call to come pick him up from comic book jail.
Yeah.
That comic, or that panel especially, hit me hard. That's the most heartbreaking, tragic thing I can remember reading in a damn long while.
Read more Lemire. But anyway, I can't argue with you. It was a fantastic issue. Mark Russell wrote himself into the book, which was weird.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at the con that Minuteman was at.
Yeah. But Minuteman goes, his power is he takes a pill and he has powers for.
Oh
and-
yeah,
and then-
like apparently like he can't get his hands on the real stuff anymore, so he's having to like
outlaw.
get like the bootleg shit from a
and it
drug
only
dealer
lasts
on the street.
45 seconds.
Yeah.
So he goes to birthday parties and lets kids hit him with hammers. So he doesn't time it right because he doesn't know it's going to end, and he ends up getting his ass kicked by a bunch of kids like accidentally. I mean, that's more of the like absurd shit going on in this. it sort of levels out, almost balances out just the heartbreaking shit going on. Red Tornado has an emergency at home and literally gets fired almost, basically.
Well, yeah, Power Girl really showing like herself to be the real villain here. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the whole thing where like she's trying to like stir up dissent amongst the others. Like, if it had been me, I would have picked you two. And then she talks to two separate people later. If it had been me, I would have picked you two.
Yeah.
You know, and just how two-faced she is, and
Yeah.
that too. You know, very out of character for Power Girl. This is definitely not in continuity, but
Sure.
But
they throw
yeah,
Lex Luthor in here with the whole competing hero.
Yeah, and you have like the villains who show up to do the same gig, and they don't even care. They're just like shooting the shit together, you know?
Oh, it's wild, dude. It's wild. Yeah. It's Mark Russell doing Mark Russell shit, man. It gets lost in the weeds sometimes. He also had Not All Robots #5 come out this week, which is basically the same shit. You know, just critiques of capitalism under the guise of comic book sci-fi. He's awesome. But yeah, it was a great week for books. It's going to be even better next week. We're going to talk about those books tomorrow night. Please come back and hang out. Thanks for hanging out. If you like what we're doing, check out The Bullies. They got a show coming on later tonight. Leroy and Eli will be talking about a bunch of cool stuff. Big Willie, I think, is still doing stuff, throughout the week. We got links. Go to outrightgeeky.com with links of a bunch of shit we got going on, all the time. Different social media and stuff. But yeah, everybody, we're going to do it again next week. We're going to do it again tomorrow. But thanks for listening, everybody. But most of all, thanks to these three jokers for hanging out with this joker. Well, two jokers.
There were only two of us going.
Yeah. Whatever. Fuck off. We're going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
You can't even fucking count us.
I can. I was talking on one listener.
Eli commented enough that he might count as another joke.
Yeah.